Now we're live.
Now we are live. Sorry. What's the
kind of a delay, like 3, 2, 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Today is Thursday, February 28th, 2019, and this is the Human Connection Developers Community Meeting at the usual time on Thursday. And here with Sam, Wolfgang, and Matt. Others might be joining us shortly, but we went ahead and got started. I mean, I was kind of enjoying you doing being the moderator, Wolfgang. I don't know if you want to slide into that role or if you prefer
okay,
somebody else.
I'm not prepared, but I will do. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So one moment. I will search for the link of the last.
Yes.
meeting.
So you can look for the previous action items.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I probably should have.
Yeah, no, I missed 2 meetings. Did the I've got up the notes from the last meeting that I was at. Did the notes from the last couple of weeks go into the wiki?
Yeah, they went into the wiki,
Yeah.
but what I haven't done yet is like update like the wiki like homepage or whatever. You know, like So they're like added, but they're more difficult to find because they haven't edited.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I can edit that for you then to add those.
On which side is the wiki actually?
It's on the Human Connection repo.
Yeah, I've got the link here.
Okay,
That the wiki here. I'm just editing the page that Matt mentioned to get the notes in from the previous couple of sessions.
Okay.
So it needs to be 2.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. You just need to link it like that. Okay, that's easy enough.
Yeah, so what actually I've been doing this the same for the scrums in Agile Ventures. Is what I sort of almost do like now. The one of the nice features is broken that. So today is the 28th there. So I can kind of almost actually, rather than going and typing in the page, I can just type this out like this. So like today's notes. So then I save it, and then if I click on it, it will automatically create the page for me, and that's where I'll drop the notes. So did that make sense? What I just did?
Yes. It's like the same as you do on like Wiki.
MediaWiki, exactly the same. You are completely correct. Yeah.
So on this wiki side, which you shared in the chat, developers community meeting must be the developers community meeting, huh?
Yes, and so I just
the last one is from the 7th of February.
Yeah, until I just saved it. Matt, I mean, I just created one for 14th of. Oh, I've called it 14th of January. Maybe that's what's broken. I'm not. Did the notes go in with maybe slightly different URL?
Yeah, or I forgot to add it, or let me.
I'm just looking. I'm looking at the list of complete pages. No, I can see it looks like there is one for the 14th. That would have been 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'll just try and link that in properly. So
maybe last time, what Matt, you hijacked the meeting somehow. Maybe that was the reason why we didn't really.
That definitely sounds like me. But I think I still took notes.
Yes,
I remember.
You maybe put them in the Discord channel. I have to say, by the way, I'm still not completely I struggle with what all of the different Discord channels are for. But so we've got the welcome channel. So you just pasted the link to all of our stuff into the welcome channel. Are you pasting it there and some other places, or is the welcome channel the place that it regularly goes to?
I think welcome to the place it regularly goes. If I'm not mistaken.
Good show. But so I'm not seeing notes in there. Is it possible that they went somewhere else?
Anything is possible, really.
But so maybe Wolfgang, do you want to start us off? And I mean, I think we maybe haven't. We can maybe keep in the background, keep looking for the notes, but maybe if you want to start us off we'll
just
kind
start.
of get all of our current stuff down, and then we'll work back from there.
Yeah, so we do. Hi, hello. So then I would assume, what are the, Sam, would you like to start with some high-level points?
I would love to. Yes,
yeah,
thank you. Yeah, so the high-level points for me are, so I was talking to Robert about the high-level challenges of the project. And in particular, we were highlighting, I think Robert would love, he's feeling torn, that he wants to do more documentation and pairing to help others make progress. But he's also, I think he's sort of saying, like, feeling pressure to deliver features.
Yes.
And sometimes the fastest way to deliver a feature is to, sometimes works, like solo. So we were sort of talking about that. I recommended to Robert trying to maybe introduce like more, shall we call them, classic retrospectives. Having now, because I was now able to attend so I had previously been able to attend the kickoff and the retrospective, and it seemed to me that what was called the retrospective was actually a client meeting, and so that maybe a kind of classic retrospective was missing, and that was needed, and that some of these sorts of things, that they would be the things to bring up in a retrospective. And I think I encouraged Robert to try and join the retrospective last Friday for Agile Ventures. Maybe Matt can tell us more about that when it's his turn. So I'm kind of still wanting to, help Robert kind of manage this which is a very common conflict, I think, in any project, whether it's open source or not, community based or not. It's an ongoing challenge. I guess there was still my block of, because I've been ill in 2 weeks. I think other people have maybe fixed it, but it was getting Neo4j working locally, which I just got to look back through. I would love to make more progress there. I think I've got kind of like a backlog of documentation PR stuff, just to sort of catch up. Yeah, and I think that's about me. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sam. So Matt, what are your high-level points then?
So Robert did join Friday, and I had mentioned to you about, I don't know if you remember, there are some notes of like to-dos that are like not very good notes. I think
the notes you take private, kind of privately for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to do the whole Sam thing, but it's just like not.
In general, it was probably very helpful. That
I think so. Hopefully, I was looking back at it, and I think like for someone like Sam who wasn't there, it could be like, what is this? And like,
you didn't had made a record, no? It's not, it was not recorded, or?
No, we do have a recording as well.
Yes.
Hi, Robert.
And I think might have. Hey, Robert. I think I might have already added that to the playlist. If not, that will be on the Human Connection playlist as well. So, and I think I'll maybe hold off for a second so I can get through my high level stuff. But I think I found the notes from last week's meeting, so that's good. Yeah. So high level stuff. Yeah. I don't know, really. I kind of left yesterday feeling a bit frustrated because I was working on some Human Connection, like the search stuff, and like trying to get this. There was a unit test that was passing that you might remember, Wolfgang. That was like basically like setting the value of the input field and expecting like I can't remember, expecting some other value that to change together with that value. Passing, but then that was when the implementation for the search was actually not working, and then Greg stepped in and got the implementation working, and it's all great. But like now it's using like this DS select, and so it's like, and you can't really interact with it in the same way as you would in input. At least like I couldn't get it figured out, and then like spent quite a lot of time like trying to figure that out, and then telling myself like just leave it and bring it up in the community meeting tomorrow. Yeah. Because maybe we shouldn't even be unit testing this in the first place, you know, like, and you're spending all this time, but I just, you know, have a hard time letting go of things. So yeah, and I ended up getting like, I moved on temporarily to the Cypress test for the search and got that passing. But now that I think of it, there was like a suggestion by Robert to refactor that I haven't taken into account yet. So maybe I still need to do that. But that was good. Like Cypress like had been working for me previously, and then like stopped working when Wolfgang and I took a look at that yesterday, and it wasn't like, didn't get to the bottom of it in the short amount of time we had in the pairing session. But then with Robert's help, we got to the bottom of that, and it's just like basically boils down to like needing to remember to do like steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 before trying to run Cypress. So it's like just maybe a little bit of a lack of experience working with Cypress. And yeah, maybe we can get that documented somewhere. So yeah, and just in general, like I'm not really enjoying working with Vue test utils, to be honest. Like I've found it more difficult to work with than what I'm used to, like Enzyme, for example. And like the documentation is like so. I mean, I did find a little bit better documentation, but like, yeah, and there's not very many working examples like anywhere in the new code base or the old code base. So, and I don't know, it's kind of bothering me that we don't have unit tests. So I'm feeling like maybe spending time trying to change that. But it's just kind of like slow progress, really. So that's kind of discouraging, but like it's the way it is. So yeah. And it was this week, like on a positive note, like this week it was really good pairing with Robert on the thing that he was working on, which, you know, is kind of, I think he'll talk about, but it's, you start working on one thing and then you end up like needing to do like X, Y, and Z to even work on the thing that you want to work on. But like that was really, really cool to see that, and yeah, help out with that in however so slightly. And yeah, we're gonna
running.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it was mostly you know, the presence of you and I that inspired Robert to come to the solution. So I think we can take at least 50% credit on that one. We have a pairing session coming up. I keep double booking myself, Wolfgang. I don't know why. I forget that I have on Thursdays a meeting at well, did I double book myself? I can't remember really. I'm getting confused with the time changes and stuff. But I might have booked myself, so I'll have to check.
You can tell me later, or write me on Discord.
Yeah, and I want to get like a regular event in the schedule, so I don't have to like think about it all the time. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the high level stuff, I think.
So you have the blockers included, no? Somehow, or there's some extra blockers for you.
Well, that's the good thing about Sam, is that he's really good at like listening to my word dumps and just like extrapolating different pieces of that, and like, you know, he has like the like an emotional section, like how I'm feeling emotionally, where he can copy and paste different things, and then the blockers, and so yeah, we missed having you, Sam. Not just for your note taking skills, but
no. Yeah. The flowers were for you, Sam. Okay, then Robert, what are your high-level points then?
My high-level points have been authentication fix, refactoring the resolvers, testing. I'm currently, since Tuesday, working on disabling posts. So I already sent in a pull request, having like backend test for checking that you can not see disabled posts as an ordinary user, but you can see disabled posts in case you're a moderator.
Mm-hmm.
And I created a Cypress test that is ensuring that if you go to the index page, you see the feed, that there are no disabled posts included.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also testing that if you go to the slug of a post that was disabled or deleted, then you will get a 404 error message.
Mm-hmm. Is that important to get a 404 error message, or?
I would say so, because let's say you would be a crawler and you visit the link to a post, and then you should get a 404 status code.
Yeah, the question would be, I will not go into this deep discussion. Why not just showing on the post link URL that it's disabled? That's not in the newsfeed for sure. Why it should be there?
Yeah, like that was a discussion I had with Armin, and he said he was actually suggesting 404. I was also asking if we should play something like a tombstone. So a tombstone is a particular object in ActivityPub, for example. And I was asking him whether I should place a tombstone. So something that's saying there was something here before, or nothing. That would be 404. And Armin suggested me to use 404, and that's why. Now, honestly, I don't really know why, because it also conceals that we're disabling posts in a way, which I don't know if that's relevant or not.
I would think it would be more kind of transparent.
Yeah. I just followed basically.
It's another discussion.
I know. I had the same question.
Sorry?
I had the same question.
Yeah.
In my mind. Now it's like 404, like invisible. It was never there.
Okay, no comment on that. Some other high-level points or blockings or plans?
There's a blocker that's Greg is currently working on. So there is a really dirty hack that I had to put in. In order to send the 404 status code, you have to check if there's a post with that slug from the URL. If you cannot find the slug, then you should send the 404 message. So this has to happen on the server. And so I had to instruct the server to get the post out of the backend. And it's rendering content. And there's a current issue with the style guard that breaks the layout or the virtual DOM tree on the server. So the quick fix or the hack is to have a property ready that will be fulfilled after 50 milliseconds. And so when you download the page first, you're not going to see anything, and then after 50 milliseconds, the page will render, and you will not have this strange bug occurring. So Greg is working on it. It's an issue with our beloved style guide, and yeah, that's definitely a blocker. However, somehow resolved. Well, workaround. I'm currently also blocked. Well, not so really blocked, but I don't know about the correct order of the GraphQL Shield permissions API. So in the backend, there's a permissions framework thingy, whatever, and it's tricky to get the order right. So when does the resolver get called? Like, when is the actual database call made? So is GraphQL Shield checking the permissions before or after you make the database request? And that depends heavily. And I was discussing it with Greg this noon. So we hope we did everything right. You can basically check it yourself. Go to the backend, and if you check out the test there that I provided. So that would be nice if anybody has more experiences with that. Yeah, that's more or less this. Oh, I also would like to help you on the search feature. So if there's anything I can do, for example, writing component tests or full stack tests, just say so.
Yeah, I would like some clarification on what tests are good to be written for that. Like, and also like something I brought up last that we could talk about in the after everyone's gone. Is about like adding if there's any interest to add like coverage to the repo so that we can see what's actually being tested and what's not being tested and like, because that's helped me to write tests.
Yeah, sure. So you can always add some coverage tool to it. I would, if before you do that, I would, however, ask you to implement the automatic deployment with Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think more that has a higher priority.
Okay, cool.
It should be easy. Like, you could try out the Kubernetes installation on Minikube and then make a deployment by changing one environment variable, for example. That should repull the images from Docker Hub. Mm-hmm. So that would be preferable. Do you have access to push images to Docker Hub?
I don't know. I don't think so. Not that anyone's told me I have.
You can work around any permission problems by creating your own repository, pushing the images there, and pointing your local Kubernetes installation to your images.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we have Agile Ventures has a Docker Hub.
Yeah, you can have your own Docker Hub. I also have my own Docker Hub repository.
Yeah.
There's one for RFM now too.
Nice.
Okay, so that's it with you? Yeah. Okay, then I will explain my high-level points. Or, yeah, I find it very helpful, Robert, that you helped us last week. I must say, I think I've not really done something new, but I started to create. Where the reports are new on the back end, no? For the database, the reports and the tests for the reports, no? And now I just started for fun, no? To write something similar with getting friends.
Yeah,
with a friend relationship.
I don't think there are tests for the reports API yet. Or are they? Oh no, Matt, you created.
Yeah, I think one is there.
There's two of them.
Or two.
And, yeah, I was looking to get more feedback on what other tests. Like, I was kind of tired and just pushed it up, and then I think it got merged. But I was asking in the PR review for like feedback on what other things I should be testing for. But there are some tests at least.
Mm-hmm. So with the friends thing, as we discussed before, there should be, the friends is a bi-directional thing. Yeah? So that should be tested and things like that. Yeah?
We can also make it we could also say that there is a friend relation once two accounts follow each other.
You're sure?
No.
To be friends and to follow other people is not the same as I think so.
Yeah, of course. I'm not quite sure, but considering what it means, you as a friend, you're probably allowed to, I don't know.
Yeah, if a friend is something emotional, I would say. Yeah, if I follow maybe Dennis Huck, that and why ever he follows me because he likes yoga or whatever, that does not mean that we are friends or that we even know each other.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think I got a little confused. Are you, Robert? Are you saying that if I am a friend with someone, then I should like be automatically following that person, but I can follow someone and not necessarily be friends with them, or did I misunderstand that?
I was thinking like maybe we can get rid of the friend relation at all and make it like a computer property. Saying that you are friend with a person if the other person follows you and you follow the person. Hello, Paolo.
Okay, that's a different discussion. I would say a friend is something emotional, and it has nothing to do with follow, or must not have something to do with following somebody. Okay,
no,
but that's a different.
But think about how to implement it. Maybe you can, let's say, if you send friend request, maybe we can do it this way. In Facebook, you have to send someone a friend request, and the other person has to confirm it. Yes. One could say that you are a friend with a person A, so person A, person B are friends if there is one friend request sent and one confirmation sent the other way.
Yes, I would say.
And then we have a computed relationship between the two.
Mm-hmm. But that means the database. What does it mean for the database?
Nothing. You just have friend requests, friend confirmations, and there can only be a confirmation
when there's a okay
of an existing friend request.
Okay, so you distinguish between requests and the agreement, or the agreeing to the request. Okay.
The confirmation.
So then you can always see who does the first step.
In a way, yes. This information is preserved.
Okay. Yeah. Should nothing say.
Who made the first move?
Who made the first move?
Nice.
I love you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is that kind of fixed, or we all still think about that?
No, it's just like before you start implementing a bidirectional relationship, and you have to make this confirmation in any way. Why not just try to express the same thing with the least required amount of data?
Mm-hmm. What you get then is two different relationships, no? Between them.
Yeah, but if you have the friendship relationship, then when you implement the confirmation at some point, you will end up with more relationship types. So having this relationship based on these two relationships, it means less redundancy and less errors.
You're sure?
But up to you. Yes, of course. Having less data is always. So when people say state is the root of all evil.
Yeah, I see it the other way around. It's more data or not. It's more different relationships are more information.
So I wonder, shall we try and finish up the high level things before?
Yeah,
it's a fascinating discussion. I sense we're we're almost there at that point where we can kind of review the next steps. Was there anything else that you wanted to highlight, Wolfgang?
Yes, please. I'm very happy that we had the solution for the Cypress tests, so get them running. Yeah. What sometimes, okay, we have to get over it, and I have to be patient, probably. It's very often when I sit together with Matt and we try, just start that, blah, 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 no? We end up somewhere in we say in German, Sackgasse. What is it?
Dead end.
Yeah, in a dead end, somehow. We're staying in front of a wall and say, okay. And it's not, if we learn something about that, maybe it's okay, but sometimes I will not say it's really frustrating, but it's something like we get nothing done really. We learn, okay, but we sometimes I get the feeling we just get nothing done. So, and that's the question is in general, the information you gave us, Robert, from where we should know that, is there already some, we should remember it from something you have said someone, when, or?
No, I mean, it changed as well. Like I was saying, it was working like a week or two ago, and then it just stopped working, you know. And it's because, like, I think it's because the changes Robert made, but that just, you know, hadn't gotten passed down yet, which is, I think, normal, you know. But it's no fault.
The change was about the database, no? That you like to have a different database for the tests? That's one short question.
No.
Had nothing to do with that. That you use a different port.
Yeah, a different port, but not a different database. But also, it's also
Robert told, as I remember. Now we go in the details again. Sorry, we can remember that for the closer discussion. Sorry, and so that's I'm a little bit okay. But we get over it hopefully. Today I had a pairing with Greg, and he showed me he integrated the style guide into the build, into the general build of the front end, as I understand right, with an npm
package. NPM package.
Yeah. So he and he showed me and explained me, and he has a description for the style guide, a new one. So, and I was on the way to get the test person for it, but then we had to have a break. And tomorrow probably we'll go on working on it. That is a kind of a plan. Yeah. And
so that's good to know that Greg and you arranged a pair programming. I'm very happy about that. So Greg is also.
I will not say surprised. I was happy.
Yeah. So we should say thank you to Greg and
he's actually he reached out to me as well, and I'm probably going to pair with him tomorrow. Although I need to talk to Sam and see. Yeah, we need to coordinate things, but. Yeah, I was quite pleased by that as well. I don't know if you suggested anything, Robert, but that'd be great if we can.
And Greg and we have to say I would walk 50 minutes to him probably.
Oh, nice!
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Did you didn't use Google Hangouts presumably to pair?
No, we tried Discord. That was absolutely awful, and then we changed to Zoom.
Okay, cool.
Which was really pretty good, I must say.
All right, cool.
At first, in Discord, we thought the internet was not working right, but I think it was the Discord server.
Yeah,
which reduced the resolution, and we could not even understand each other, and so what?
Wow.
Okie dokie. So I think that was the main thing. I have started to work on the documentation about how to use GitHub. So there's a start, I would say. So it's something like in the background a little bit. Okay, I think that it was about me.
Something I forgot. If it's just real quick that from the meeting, the feedback we got on Friday in the retrospective, Robert and I, from Mike, was that he felt like we should try to have like more resources available for like courses that one could take or tutorials that one could do before joining pairing sessions and jumping straight into, because I guess in the pairing sessions that Wolfgang and I have been doing recently, we kind of try to jump into an issue and try to learn as we go. And so I've said it there that I'm open to having like regular pairing sessions where we go through courses and do other things other than work directly on human connection, but to try to upskill ourselves. And so I don't know how to market that or just wait for people to say they're interested. But like I've actually purchased a course as well, and I'm kind of going through that. So I guess anyone watching, if you'd like a pairing session to focus on Vue.js and Apollo and GraphQL. Please ping me.
What would be very nice maybe is can we spread such pairing sessions out in the world to somebody else and into the open community that other people would join us, and maybe we can direct them or redirect them to Human Connection or what? That's just a question, huh?
Yeah.
When you make it so general, maybe more people could join us.
Yeah. I mean, Federico does a really good job of that with the daily code kickoff, where he's, I think, Monday through Thursday, every night he's focusing on like learning Vue.js and like free resources and stuff. I mean, the other thing we could like talk about is if Human Connection could somehow reach out to like we at Agile Ventures, we've gotten some courses like gifted, or like I don't know the right word for it, but like they've given us access to the, if you explain what you're doing and that you're a nonprofit, maybe they might be interested in like people getting access that you don't need to pay for it to, you know. So
yeah. And I on Discord, what I find a little bit kind of annoying is when Federico makes such a course, and you click on it later on, then I don't know about what it is.
He plays music, so it's really the YouTube. I think he responded there to you, like with the YouTube list, and he's making a playlist that's like just the Vue.js playlist. So I think he's doing a really good job of separating that, and you know, maybe we could set up a different playlist on Human Connection.
I have not read his answer actually.
Yeah. He likes playing music, and it gets flagged for copyright, but YouTube allows you to, as long as you're not making money, like monetizing it. So yeah, YouTube's the place to watch it. Yeah.
Okay, but even the titles, no? It's the daily code kickoff, blah, in London, Sydney, blah blah blah. But there's no place where I can read it's about Vue.js.
Yeah. I would recommend go to that playlist, you know, because then you know all of it is Vue.js. And that could be quite helpful.
Okay, that's okay. I'm the moderator. So, okay, where's the need to go a little bit further into the details? Additionally,
look at the difference between when Sam takes notes and when I take notes.
Well, on the subject of
notes, professional.
The subject of notes, Matt, you were saying that in the background you think you managed to find the notes from last week.
I've added those.
And you've added those into the wiki.
Yep.
And do you have any action items that we should be reviewing?
No. I mean, we had like previous action items that's like kind of becoming like just a reminder for me, is that be ready to receive the info from Lala Robert about getting the Discord access, and Robert's given me Discord access, and now I need to bridge the two if I can. I don't know. I was getting like threatening emails from Zapier saying that I need to pay them or they're going to remove my access, but I'm hoping that's not the case, because
you know, a lot of people they kind of want to make you think you need to pay when actually you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing the same. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's good. So yeah, fantastic. Oh, no, that I see the notes in there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, in the background, the Neo4j, I just got the seeding thing to work, but now I've got a different error. Anyway, I'll put that on there. I had this question about just on Discord. We've got all these different channels. When people I guess I feel like I have a kind of a clear idea. Like when people join the Agile Ventures Slack, I know that they end up by default in general and tech talk and random, and then, you know, they need to be pulled into other things. When people are invited into the Human Connection thing, are they automatically added to certain channels? How does it work?
I don't know myself, but I think Lala knows. She's set up something. We would have to look into the server settings. So I think that there's a public. So in Discord, you have different groups of text channels. You have voice text channels, and then you have groups. And there's, for example, the public group. And I think public is available to everyone.
Right.
And there's a coding group, and the coding group is available to you once you are a developer. I don't know the reasoning behind it. If you would ask me, I would probably have less text channels and make them all public.
But so at the moment, we certainly people people will be joining through Welcome, and then we've got I guess in Slack there are maybe more channels than I can see and I can search for them. But for example, if I'm seeing here like this is public and there are these 6 channels, that means that these are the only 6 public channels. Is that right?
Yes.
And so the welcome one is people, and we welcome them there. Using presentation, that's for people to introduce themselves if they want to. Important, correct. I guess, is for important notices, and then there's general chat for English and German, and then there's getting started for which is like, okay, how do I get started with like getting set up with the software and so on? Is that a reasonable summary of these 6?
Yeah.
Yes. I would say.
And then right, so then I think that was just I just needed to sort of check in on that. Okay, cool. And we expect people to come in.
There's so many text channels, and I don't know if it's good to have many. I would like to have less. Also, I would like to encourage more people to write something instead of making people uneasy where they should write it.
Yeah, so, that's a good point. I worry about spamming channels sometimes, like if it's kind of off topic for the channel, to not bother people. But like, you just bringing that up, Sam. Like, I think maybe instead of sharing just because I'm kind of used to sharing like links to pairing sessions in like the Coding English, but like they probably should be shared in Getting Started, because Coding English assumes that you have the role added that you're a coder, and not necessarily everyone who would want to join has been added.
Discord is for more people than just developers. It's like for testers. So there are a couple of users who are not interested in the development at all, but they want to be notified if there's a new staging environment around. So for example, Mirella Fortunato, she joined us a couple of days ago, and she's she would be a human tester. I gave her links to the staging environment and the access, the credentials, and she's not at all interested in the development.
Yeah.
We have designers, we have translators. So we by the way, there's so many strings in the front end that are currently not translated. And we have
I opened an issue about that.
Nice.
So everybody which sees untranslated texts, please put a screenshot there and maybe a link or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, that reminds me that you haven't entered Localize in some time.
Since now Greg and I was not able to get together, that he can explain me how to change the data between the localized thing and the human connection and so on.
What is the role of plain, if I may interrupt?
Oh, I just put that there because I assume that if maybe you don't have a role, like if you're not a developer and you're not a tester and you're not a designer and you're not a translator, maybe I was getting if they're like
a member.
It's a member.
It's a member.
Okay. But that's this is interesting. I mean, I guess in terms of for Matt and myself, like it feels like the welcome channel is the place that we can rely on most people being in, and so that's the place where we would greet people. And at the moment, like it's also where we're putting things like the developers community meeting to maximize the chance that people will see that they're happening and will jump in. I guess, although it occurs to me that it's sort of I don't know. So there seems like a slight cognitive dissonance there. Do you know what I mean? Like welcome could be just the place where you say welcome, or like it could be completely focused on those people, and like there's a separate announcement channel. But I think I agree with what Robert and Matt are saying is probably fewer channels is better, and just like you know, like multiple channels is the solution to the situation when you have far too many messages and people like ask for them, if you know what I mean. I don't know. Have any users ever asked for all these channels, or this is just what the marketing people set up because they thought was needed?
That's not the marketing team. It's what Lala set up.
Yeah.
And Lala is, what's her role in the? You probably have told me before.
She's just a contributor, and she's the owner of the Discord server.
Ah, okay.
You probably recognize her handle more, Sam. It's like the you've talked to her before.
Akatsuki.
Oh,
Yeah.
So she, in the reality, she likes to be called Lala.
Yeah.
And her handle is Akatsuki.
Okay.
I think she likes anime and so on.
Yes, for sure.
Right.
Cool. Well, so
I would say maybe less channels are kind of better. As I got into the project, it was at the first a little bit overwhelming. I could not really see where to go, and what helped me at the end was on the right side the mentors thing, yeah. Because I thought when there are mentors, they have to help me.
Yes.
But I didn't knew where I have to write, except that there was a welcome channel and then the user presentation channel. That was clear, okay. And the rest I had to figure out. I had to understand.
Does anyone know why new members are so unresponsive in Discord? Sam, if new members show up on Agile Ventures and you greet them, about half of them respond to it, I would say.
I think it might seem like that in the new members channel. Certainly, we do have people chatting in the new members channel, but I'd say it's more like, for the number of people who join, it's probably more like 1 in 5 who we actually have an interaction with. And my sense is, I would imagine both in Discord and in Slack, is that for a lot of people who are joining, they are not necessarily used to using Slack and Discord. Like probably everybody is used to using email or some other things, or they're used to using things on their phone. I think that the first way that, certainly in Slack, when people first sign up for it, they're in like a browser, and then they're kind of like, oh, okay, that was that. And then unless they kind of re-log into the browser, they may never see it again. Do you know what I mean? And I have a feeling like there's this big difference between people like us who've got the desktop versions downloaded onto our system and we're quite plugged in. And then there's this huge periphery of people who are kind of just occasionally accessing it from a browser. And so when we say something to them with their name, if we're lucky, they might get an email telling telling them that there was activity in that chat system. If that doesn't go into their spam filter, if they actually see that email, if they remember to click through on it, do you know what I mean? There's like a whole series of steps in between them actually, being able to respond to our reach out.
I know. I had the same feeling. I think that you don't have to put in an email. So even if you're mentioned, you will not get a notification via email or whatever. So people they're just curious. Okay, what's going on here? And then they join, and probably Discord doesn't let them to join without putting in an email, and they show up with a name, but 5 minutes later they're gone, and there's no way when I mention them or anybody else, they don't come back anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the way it goes. Some people for sure are just curious and looking around and kind of like not to join. I'm very sure.
Yeah, they're coming and seeing what's going on, and it will be. They'll be excited about it, or they won't. And
and when they're kind of a little bit confused, and then they went out, they never get a notification. That's a problem. Or maybe they are interested, but they find not the way to get in, and then they are going out somehow, and then they get no notification that they agreed.
By the way, Sam, you're showing us a display with Soraya, and I just don't understand what he or she wants to tell us. Like,
well, I've got a layer of I don't speak German, so that. I'm really enjoying the discussion actually about the Discord channels, and that's been very, very helpful for me. I was just thinking that I think Matt had like going through, there were, and Robert, you mentioned some blocks that I think are being addressed that we're kind of interested in, but like I think between Wolfgang and Block, it feels to me that the biggest sort of like bigger block is the issues that Matt was bringing up about the sort of the testing approach, and you were talking, Robert, about wanting to be able to help with that and this balance between unit tests and feature tests and so on. So, but it was great to have. I've certainly got all of my things. Would just looking through everything, would we agree that is possibly the biggest block and the highest priority for the community now to kind of coordinate? And if so, I mean, we've sort of run out of time for this meeting, but so Matt, were you planning to now pair? Was there going to be a human connection pairing session next? Is that?
Yeah. What time did I say, Wolfgang? Sorry.
You said 4 p.m. 4:30 p.m. UTC.
Yes.
So that would be in half an hour from now, and it's sort of. I mean, I guess would it make sense for all three of you to be working and addressing this issue? Should we take 10 minutes to discuss the issue now? I sort of feel like, I mean, I should stop now, but I feel bad because I kind of took this time on the Discord thing when this. I mean, Robert, do you just want to? Did the things that I don't know, you kind of joined maybe partway through, and Matt was talking about these things. Were Matt's concerns about the different tests and balance of tests clear to you?
I have the same feeling.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's also very cumbersome to set up the tests and make them work as I'm expecting them to work, especially with the Rails background, right? With a Rails background, you just know how things should feel, right. And how Rails is like the reference how it should be,
right? And
with that background, you're coming to the Node.js heavy configuration stuff, and you can configure everything yourself. And
what's a bit frustrating for me is that like I've been getting a lot more experience with testing, like JavaScript testing. Because like we have in the website run front end, we have like 150 unit tests, you know, but then like it's using Jest, but it's using Enzyme, and it's just enough different that it's like completely different, you know. It's like whatever I've just spent like all this time learning in Enzyme, I just need to forget all of that because it doesn't work. It doesn't work the same at all, and I just need to learn it again, you know, like with Vue test utils.
So let's maybe start with the things that are settled. Is backend testing a problem now, or is it easy to create backend tests?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I found that, yeah, which is what I wanted to focus on. Like we were talking yesterday with Wolfgang, is like try not to get distracted by other things and saying like, right, let's write some backend tests and hopefully get some nice wins, you know, and exactly. Some PRs.
So backend testing is probably the easiest thing to test. As also from my experience. So yesterday, as I said, I created tests for the permissions of the filtering for disabled and or deleted content, right? Yeah. So this might be a use case for someone with higher permissions, like a moderator, but it's definitely not something for anyone like the general public. And I found testing backend very, very much helpful because even for that use case, there have been multiple ways to address the whole issue. You could say, so the way how it is implemented right now, once you request, I want to get posts that are deleted, you get a permission error. If you don't specify it, by default, you're searching for non-deleted posts, and you get all those posts back, and the deleted ones are hidden. You could have implemented otherwise. For example, getting an array of posts, and for those posts that are deleted, you get null. That would be another solution. Or there could be solutions that if you are a normal user and you search for deleted content, it's just ignored. Right? So filter params are always set to false, something like that. So backend testing should be fairly easy. And I would advise you to start with that to get easy wins.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not available on 5:30 p.m. German time, so in half an hour I have to leave.
Yeah.
So backend working fine. Cypress tests. What about Cypress testing, Matt? Do you have?
I mean, yeah, I'm getting more experience with that as well because I'm using that and that I can kind of that has really good documentation. It has good there's videos as well that you can watch and I feel like that's I'm strong in that. It just it strikes me that it seems like there's far more Cypress tests for Human Connection than there are actual unit tests. You know.
Absolutely. So that's a problem. The reason is that for a total beginner, it might make you feel more friendly because Cypress gives you, it's opening a browser. It's basically doing whatever you would do if you just click through the browser.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a higher level of extraction if you do component testing because you have to take things out of the whole system and test them without dependencies. And that might...
But like with Enzyme, you have things like you can do like wrapper.debug and you can see like the whole tree of it, you know. Whereas like with Vue Test Utils, you can do you can see its HTML, you can see its attributes, but yeah. Anyways, it's just it's a learning curve, you know.
Enzyme is the proprietary testing framework for React. Is that correct?
Enzyme, I don't know if it's just for React. Is it? Yeah, I feel like we're probably going to be wrapping up soon, but before we do that, Robert, can you is it easy for you to? I took notes on it, but it seems like I might have had a gap. Is it clear in your mind exactly which resolvers we want to be whitelisting? Because I think that if we're going to be doing unit tests on resolvers, it would feel like maybe we would whitelist whichever ones we want to be using, and then unit test those, and then not work out the other ones.
It's very easy. If you run yarn, run db seed, nothing should fail.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sweet.
So that should give you a very good understanding what resolvers we need.
Okay. Cool. So yeah. Right. So and then we can create issues for we can create an issue for each resolver that needs to be tested, and then go one by one working on that. And then there'll also be those issues there for other people who might not be able to make this meeting but want to work on something.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So in Cypress, you said Cypress testing you feel comfortable with. So I would say I can probably help you most if I do a component test.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I would like to be able to help out with. It's just there's also a feeling that I have that unfortunately I don't have as much time in the week as I would like to have, and it seems like you and Greg are implementing things faster than I would be able to test them. But but when you put in you're writing tests as well, so not that I need to go behind you and clean up after you or anything, but I'm just saying that it feels like the amount of features is growing faster than than I'm able to figure out the test.
I wouldn't say the features are growing very fast. They're growing very slowly.
Well,
if we are not always standing in front of a wall, maybe the situation will change.
Yes, I'm ready for the hands if you are, Wolfgang. I think we need to focus on our breathing and visualize the winds coming our way.
Yes, it will come.
it's good having the pairing session with Robert during the middle of the week as well, because it's good to see that it's not just us, it's just programming in general that you end up sometimes you run into bugs, and sometimes it just takes a lot of time to get through them sometimes.
For some reason, the infrastructure stuff takes ages. On that note, I've got the seed operation has worked for me with the Neo4j desktop, and here I've got a little query of the GraphQL post out with titles. So
wonderful.
That's really nice to have that all working. It's interesting that we say this, many features for you is this a problem? I mean, I think that I would say it's not a priori a problem. I mean, there's the balance of, do you have lots and lots of unit tests? Do you have small numbers of acceptance tests, and all different ways around? As we were talking about before, Matt, in the Scrum, there's all different sorts of sizes. And I think without knowing the project, it would be dangerous to say that there's like things need to be a certain way. You know, I start to have very mixed feelings about testing sometimes, but I don't mean to undermine that. I think it's important that, you know, we continue to explore with an open mind all these things about what helps deliver the features that Robert and Robert's users need, and how can the tests, like the tests are sort of irrelevant if they're not helping ultimately deliver features and keep them working. So yeah, I think it's time to wrap up. I was just gonna, Matt, I was a little bit confused then about the retrospective. Were there notes from the retrospective? So Robert, you attended the retrospective, which I hope was interesting and informative. And Matt, did you have the notes from that? You were saying something about the notes from it might be a little bit obscure, but I wasn't able to.
No, I think the notes I was talking about were obscure from our pairing session that the three of us had last week. The notes from the retrospective are in the retrospective notes, which are in the wiki, the AV wiki.
Okay, all right. So okay, that's fine. But just so, Robert, because this is probably the last time I'll see you before Monday, when there would be a Human Connection retrospective, and I was just wondering, based on your experience of the retrospective last Friday, have any further thoughts on the kind of organization of client meetings versus retrospectives versus other sorts of things?
I mean, I agree with you that we should not make the retrospective a client meeting. However, it's just, if we would make a client meeting before that, if we would ask Martin, hey, can you check the features, the features that are implemented right now? We have to deploy it. That takes a time, and I'm not sure if we are able to finish it until Monday, because on Saturday I will not be available, on Sunday either, and yeah, so tomorrow will be my last day, and it has to be deployed to be available for the client meeting. And
right, but what that sounds is you're saying that we need to have the client meeting on the Monday morning. So absolutely. But so should we make the meeting on the Monday morning, the client meeting, and then have a retrospective separately from that? So where the business of that first meeting on the Monday is getting the client to sign up on the things, done. And then that's when that business is completely finished, separately there can be a retrospective for the developers that doesn't necessarily involve the client. I mean, it's the case that Martin doesn't code any features himself, right?
No, he doesn't, but it would be nice if we had more. I mean, he's head of IT. He's responsible for everything that happens in development.
Okay.
And
so yeah, certainly that he could be involved in the retrospective.
Maybe we have something like intermediate retrospective. So Wolfgang, I, and Greg and Martin, we had a meeting to this morning. There is a developer meeting every Thursday, 11 p.m. German time. And the developer meeting was put in place before we had the collaboration with Agile Ventures.
Right.
And now I would say this has developed into something like the retrospective. It's probably the least formalized meeting. So it's just like, okay, developers meet, and then what? Usually there has been a couple of questions accumulated until this Thursday. So this was the situation right today. We had a long discussions about uniqueness of IDs, like that's something that we have to consider before we implement anything. And long-term goals. And I had some questions, for example, regarding the latest PRs. And we could, for example, bring up certain things like, how can we optimize onboarding new contributors? How can we tell Greg to do more pair programmings? What can we do to connect or to bring Greg in our developer meetings? Something like that. We could probably do that on Thursday. And this meeting, by the way, happens weekly. It's not only not bi-weekly.
Yeah.
But for Matt, it's a bit early.
Yeah. Do you think it's too much to have like the retro/kickoff on Tuesday mornings? If we just have like client meeting on Monday mornings, and then have because we have several retros that we do retro and a kickoff in like 1 hour. Or do you think that's too short?
When exactly?
The same, like not have another meeting the same Tuesday morning, you know. So the Monday morning meeting would just be a client meeting, and then Tuesday would be the retro / kickoff.
Sure. Yeah. Usually we have it's happened to be that on Monday we test that all the features are accepted. That's like the client meeting, and we plan the next Scrum on Tuesday. And so between Monday and Tuesday, we, for example, estimate certain issues.
Mm-hmm.
And on Tuesday, we will put them into the next iteration.
Mm-hmm.
Because up to then, we know how much time we expect or we estimate for each user story. And then we have our 80 hours per 2 weeks. And then we just, group them into the iteration. And we could, of course, have a look back and say what did work and what didn't, and discuss why, and have an overview of our performance, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it sounds like, you know, the thing next. There's a lot of great ideas. The thing now next week is a little bit too close to maybe changing the thing. So maybe we just carry on as normal, perhaps with the only change that on the Monday we call it the client meeting, and we keep on thinking about like whether we want to try and split the meeting on a Tuesday to 50-50 retro kickoff, whether there needs to be another retro, whether that's here or there. So, but that's very. I think the important thing is that we're thinking about it. We don't have to come up with a solution right now. So yeah. I've got to go, so I'm going to pop these notes in here, and I'll catch up with all of you soon. Go on. Any last thoughts from me?
Yeah, on Monday, Robert, that we have the time changed for the Monday meeting.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like I've already said, but I won't be there on Monday, so I don't know if that changes anything because it's Paul's birthday, and Tuesday is a public holiday, so I intend on making it Tuesday morning, but Monday I definitely will not.
The question was about Martin. I think we had kind of agreed to move it later in general, so that Matt has a chance to meet it, not only from the bed, just after he awoke.
Yeah, that's what I did last time. Is I just joined and then promptly fell back asleep, you know. But then, like at least like people can't say that I didn't join, you know.
You listened.
Yeah.
Or you was just online.
So,
okay. I don't know when we have moved it to 11 a.m. We have to ask Martin for safeness. Robert?
Yeah.
Okay. I will ask him on the Zoom chat and let you know.
Cool. Thanks, Sam.
Bye for now. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Yeah. So I guess if we want to meet in 15 minutes, we should probably end this as well. No, okay.
I will not be available.
Yeah, I know that, Robert. That's okay. I mean, if we could move it to a time that you are available, then that would be great. But that's fine. We're just I think both Wolfgang and I are kind of keen to try to have like Monday through Thursday have a pairing session. So yeah, and that time that I told you is okay for me, but it's like I have like an hour and 15 minutes, and so I can't like really spill over very long or have like get started really late. So if you're still happy to meet in 14 minutes, Wolfgang.
Yeah, it's okay for me. Or you would more like to work for yourself until then?
I think we can meet and
okay.
I have a clear idea of what we can be doing to take steps forward to like getting all the backend 100% tested, you know.
Yes.
Basically, yeah, make the backend bulletproof. I think that will be a quick win. And it's all okay just to have the tests in place.
Yeah.
They don't need to be passing. You don't need to provide the implementation, but create comments and try if you can override the from param, right? So try to pretend you're writing a comment for another person, for example. Try to create more than one follow. Try to create basically everything that should be there only once. Try to create more than that.
Okay. Yeah.
Try to do things like deleting a report. I mean, why should we want this? Or updating the report? Probably we don't. Yeah, but maybe start with the no-brainers. Maybe start with the no-brainers. Try to create a comment for someone else. Try to create a comment without a post. Something like that.
Yep. We do. Yep.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, post it for author. Or do you already have that?
Has my latest PR been approved now? So we can...
The one that I felt a little bad. Like I left some just a comment about that about removing that comment and stuff. And then I was like working on something else, and then I saw you had written there, does no one want to approve my PR? And I'm like, but by that time, like Greg had already brought up like other things that he saw as issues that I hadn't even thought about. And I was thinking like responding like, it's not that I don't want to, Robert. But I think it has been merged.
Nice.
Yeah.
It has been merged. So backend has been merged, but I think frontend hasn't.
I proved it, so it's mergeable, I think.
Let me see. It's still open. It's not merged.
Do you want me to merge?
But the build is failing.
That's all right. Just kidding. It's just a guy.
You cannot have everything.
It failed after master was merged into the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the master is currently broken. You can have a look into that. Why the master is currently broken.
Okay. You say
the backend was merged, but now login will not work anymore because the whole login has changed. And now we are now in the situation where we just have to merge this pull request. I think
it's failing on the part that there's no procedure with the name dbms.security.
No, it's not failing on that part. So this is just an error that gets ignored, which is fair.
Okay.
So it's trying to if you start Neo4j in production, then it wants you to change the password of the default user, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
And the bash script is doing exactly that. But right now, I think the master branch.
It's failing a Cypress, but it's only failing one Cypress test, which means I think it is able to log in and stuff. Otherwise, the login feature wouldn't be passing. I think
everything except the translations are failing, which makes sense because the translation test is the only test that doesn't require login.
So I think I'm looking on a different. I'm looking at the PR, or I'm looking at the push build, and everything is passing except for the posts, tags and categories feature.
Yeah, maybe that was just.
I'm gonna restart the build for that.
I got the Cypress tests running today with the advices of Robert. But sometimes they were failing, and then I run them again, and they were not failing.
Yeah, I noticed you said that. Yeah, it's a bit strange. Was it?
I put a screenshot into Discord, Robert.
Yeah. I know.
Actually, I would like to merge this the pull request that was even if it's failing the build. I don't care right now. I just don't care. Right.
Yeah, things get changed. Like it seems like things get changed so quickly that like just this morning, like Greg merged in master 3 times.
Yeah, it's not that things are changing too fast. It's that we have different repositories instead of just one. Backend and frontend should go together, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
That's the situation for RFM, and no problems whatsoever with that.
It's easier when you're dealing with Docker as well, isn't it?
Huh?
It's easier when you're dealing with Docker as well, isn't it?
Yeah, in a way. Yes, sure. You can start the whole network and so on. That's also easier. Things get easier if you remove complexity.
Yes.
And having many repositories is adding complexity.
Yeah.
So it's just Greg which says don't do it together.
He wanted to be. He has a. I mean, he has his point. He says it's actually 2 different applications, so they should go into different repositories, and it makes sense. But adding a lot of problems, and until we don't have too many mobile clients, mobile front-end apps, then I would say just put everything in one repository and we are done. Yeah.
Or you have to synchronize the pull requests merging.
That was also an idea, to have, for example, yet another repository for full stack testing. But I think we will have the same problems in any way. So I think having just one repository would be the easiest solution. Not the cleanest one, but the easiest, with the least problems.
Shouldn't it go this way when you merge the editor into the master? Yeah, there's a part. I don't know if I think with the editor was the same. You have the pull request on the front end, and then you have it on the back end as well. And so just merge it into the master if both is mergeable, and merge it together.
Yeah, you have to merge it together. That's what Greg didn't do. So he merged the backend and he kind of forgot about the front end. Now all front end pull requests are broken, including master, and you have to merge the pull requests. And in the meantime, he added a couple of dependencies to the front end, which are triggering all the builds, and we have a lot of failing.
Yes. So that should be not the way we do it in the future.
No, if we would have backend and frontend together, we had one pull request for one change that's required.
For sure, I understand that, yeah.
And then you have to click on merge, and then everything happens.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
I think I have to leave. It's now half past.
Yeah,
we meet in 20 minutes, or when we want, or just now. I have to eat something, but I can eat and watch what you're doing or whatever.
Yeah, I can start a hangout in like 15 minutes. Can be.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect.
Cool. All right. See you soon.
See you soon. Have a nice day, Robert.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.